Om Sadashivasamarampham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Okay, any questions, clarifications on what we have done up to now? That whole thing about qualification for a student, optimum we are talking about, ideal we are talking about, all cultivated in time. Yeah. And Viveka Vairagya Samadama Titiksha Uparati Shraddha Samadhanam, that handling emotion part, that is Samadama, becomes very important because we get hijacked emotionally. Anything goes wrong, the hijacking is emotional hijacking. Yeah. So, beg your pardon? Anyone ask something? No. Okay, what I am going to do is I am going to mute all of you. If you want to ask something, please unmute and ask, okay? Otherwise, I'll get all sorts of noises in between. Yeah. So, all this we saw elaborately. We also saw who am I last time, the time before that, in terms of I am nothing but consciousness, etc. On all this, are there any questions or is it clear? Any questions, ask. Okay, don't hesitate. Lot of beginners will be there in the Gita, therefore perfectly fine to ask questions. Okay. Okay, no questions. I am presuming that everything is clear. Okay. Yeah. The passage? Practices for developing your qualifications. Ha, good question. Yes, some practice in terms of handling emotions. Okay. Here is a situation, real life situation. Okay. It happened to my friend last week. She discovered a lump in her right breast. Having a bath, discovered it. Natural. She was worried, she was anxious. Tell me, what do you think her thinking was? Practice now, okay? Tell me, what do you think the thinking would have been? It is malignant. Yes. Okay. I had to go through the whole surgery and chemo and everything. Yeah. Okay. I'll be disfigured. Yeah. Okay. So worry, anxiety, certain sense of helplessness, all that. Now, if you have to change your thinking, I said you have to change your feeling, you have to change your thinking. Tell me, what rationally, what thinking change can you do? Rational.
Going for checkups first.
Yeah, I'll go do a biopsy. Fine.
Go to the doctor.
Beg your pardon?
Go to the doctor first.
Yeah, you go to the doctor, but until you reach the doctor, what do you do? Doctor, you called up the doctor, appointment is after 3 days. Then what?
Nowadays, there are a lot of advances in treatment.
Okay, lot of advances in treatment is easy to deal with. Okay, what else? Give me some more thinking. Come on, guys. These are practical day-to-day things that happen to everyone, every family.
Offer prayers.
Okay, offer the prayer, surrender, sense of surrender to the Lord. All right, fine. What the Lord wills will happen. Okay. What else?
Talk,
Huh?
talk to a friend. Yeah.
What is that? Anyone?
Talk to a friend who will like
Talk to a friend. What? Friend will say, "Don't worry, don't worry." Be objective. This is, we are trying to be objective right now. Somebody is saying being objective. How does it mean be objective? What are the facts as far as breast cancer is breast tumors are concerned that you all know?
Can be malignant or
90% are benign.
benign. Yeah.
90% of the tumors are benign. So the chances are good this tumor is also benign. Yeah. If I have to have treatment, advances are there. So we will typecast it and do whatever has to go do. So Your worry from right up here will come down to manageable levels. Surrender to the Lord, etc., is easier when you make your worry to manageable levels. You know what we do is we straight away sometimes jump, oh, Bhagwan ke upar chhod do. But the thinking is still negative. Bhagwan ko upar chhod do is one line of thinking. And the other part of negative thinking is still going in my mind. So it becomes a big conflict there itself. Then there becomes a self-judgment on top of it. Oh, I don't have enough bhakti, I don't have enough surrender. It makes it worse. So first change your thinking, etc., into practical things. There is still some worry. Okay, none of this is conclusive. Let the Lord will what happens. I will go through it. Okay. Are you getting this? This is one thing. Okay. What other, give me a situation. Give me a situation from your life. I can talk in terms of this, etc. Yeah. If you sit right in front, you may not be able to see me, okay? You can spread it out, yeah. Okay. Give me a situation from your, yeah, Prashant.
There's a lot of retrenchment happening at work, for example. I mean, not now, but a little
Yeah.
a while earlier last year.
Yeah.
There was a high chance that I was made redundant as well. So,
Okay. People are being laid off at your workplace. You think you may be one of them. Situation. What do you think are your likely feelings? If somebody is saying, I'm calm, good riddance, then we don't have to do anything about it. Okay. But tell me your feelings. Okay. I'll put it the other way around. I'm going to give you the thinking, you tell me the feelings. Okay. Oh my God, I will lose my job. At this age to lose a job, I still have a house loan to pay off. My children are in college. How will I manage? If this is how your thinking is, what are your feelings going to be? Come on, all the people who are keeping quiet there on the screen. Anxiety, yes. Worry.
extremely stressed.
Okay, now I'm going to add one more thinking. After 10 years, giving 10 years to organization, this is how they deal with me. What will your feeling be then, if this thought I introduce? Huh? Unfair. This is not fair. This is. Okay.
Frustration.
Beg your pardon?
Frustration.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. If you sense a frustration, etc. Now, change your thinking. Change your thinking so that you can change your feeling. You don't want to feel like this, right? I mean, if you're happy feeling like this, then I have nothing to say. But I'm assuming that you don't want to feel like that. Change your thinking. How are you going to change it? What is change is all practical, no? It is not. Every thinking I have told you all is an exaggerated version. With the first assumption that I am going to be fired.
Think of both the possibilities. Like, in case I am fired, then what? Then I look for another job.
Yeah. Okay, this young lady is saying, if I am fired, if that option comes, I may not be. I'm valuable in the company, so I may not be fired. But if in case I am fired, I'm qualified, I'm experienced, I'll find another job. It's only a question of a month or two. I have enough savings to manage on that. Okay. My partner is working, so we'll manage. Is it practical thinking or impractical thinking? What I said just now.
Practical.
Practical. Unless I'm 60 plus, then getting a job may be a little dicey, okay?
Yeah.
If you're 60 plus, then you have to think of retirement options, okay? Okay, if you're 60 plus and you're fired from a job, what options are there? Come on, this is your field, not my field.
You can do something from the house and,
Like what?
start some kind of small
Trading?
whatever.
Share market trading, okay, one option. Consultancy?
Start some consulting.
Consultancy, another option. Huh?
Some trainings as well.
Some social service work, yep. Volunteer somewhere, keep busy, yep.
Professional training.
Bigger pardon? Yeah, Prashant.
Offering professional training to others.
Yeah, offer some professional training, correct. So can you see, you're looking at the world practically and changing that panic reaction thinking. When first time some perceived bad news hits us, it may not be bad, but it is natural for us to think of the worst case scenarios. Now here is a bit of Vedanta coming in. This happens because all of us are finite, limited entities. Therefore, there is a sense of insecurity with all of us. Yeah. Can you understand what I am trying to say? There is an insecurity with all of us. Therefore, our tendency is to go into our distorted thinking. All that styles of distorted thinking I talked about. And we have put up as a PDF in the group. It is all that which is very naturally comes into our mind. Because as I said, nobody has taught it to be rational. We have been given advice by spiritual teachers also, be objective. Correct, I will be objective. How? How do we become objective? Yeah. To identify the irrationality of your thought. We pride ourselves in being good thinkers, rational thinkers, because we have got good education, good job, this, that. But we are not aware of the creeping irrationalities that have come in as a process of sheer socialization. The way we are brought up. Yeah. Yeah. Or the way people around us reacted, or on the basis of some of the negative experiences we had in the past. Yeah. All men are dogs. A comment I hear very often from the young girls whom I know. Just because a couple of boys in their life behaved badly, doesn't mean all men are like that. Some are, of course. Many are. Even that I will accept. But not all. All is too strong a word to use. A lot of decent people around. But these are the conclusions we make on the basis of our experience. It's all practical living. But we are impractical. It is not really practical. We have a lot of these issues. So next time you are confronted with a difficult situation or even a simple situation, simple thing. Your young daughter has gone out, 14-year-old kid. She said she will come by 8 o'clock in the night. It is 9, she has not yet landed up. She is not answering her phone also. What all things will go into your mind? But Swamiji, you can say like that world is dangerous. I know how dangerous it is. I have been to areas where none of you guys ever will go. Yeah. Just to see how dangerous things can be. Because when I am talking in society, I should know what society is. So I make it a point to be aware. I mean, every teacher need not do that, okay? Yeah, it's not necessary. that you go to, for example, cheetah camp here. You don't have to, but so now all sorts of thoughts will go into your mind, all your worry, anxiety, etc. And when she comes home, you'll whack her first out of relief. It's just normal reaction, Indian parent, I know that. Arey, she must have. Kids nowadays always, all the time they are on the phone, the battery must have run out. She must not have taken a charger with her. Got caught up with friends, etc., got delayed. It's okay. Yeah. Things can go wrong. Yeah, I know that things can go wrong. I helped a lot of people to correct when things have gone wrong. Like few years back, one of my friend's daughters had gone with someone she was seeing, young girl in her 20s, and some people attacked them, assaulted both of them and left. Okay. So a friend called me up, we both of us rushed to the place, took both of them to the hospital, this, that. I caught hold of the local cop. I said, I know the Inspector General of ED. I have my contacts right up to the PMO's office. Are you going to find these people or not find these people? He said, Saab, Jarur, we will find them. I said, okay, find them. Okay. The girl and the guy, both of the young couple, we went through counseling, this, that, etc. Both of them are happily married now. Everything fine. Things can go wrong, but is it manageable? This is what you need to keep thinking, that however bad a situation is, there is a solution for it. You can live with it. It is not the end of the world. My child flunks in an exam and says 10th standard, I don't want to take science after 10th. And you are a science teacher. मेरा इज्जत का सवाल है ये. This is my cousin's story. I'm not saying anything that I have not seen through. Where do you think all this knowledge came from? What I have seen? It's my cousin's sister. Tell me, is it the end of the world if a child flunks in science and doesn't want to take up science? But do you think science is the most important thing? I know science is important in today's world. There is no doubt about that. You have to have some awareness of science. That's important. Yeah. This is important. That much is fine. Some working knowledge of science. Yeah. So tell me, how will you handle the situation? How will you, what will you think? Again, always start with thinking. Otherwise, you are reacting. If you don't start with thinking and you jump into action, it is called being reacting. Because you are just functioning from your emotions. If you handle your emotions, make it manageable, then act, that's an action. That's valid. Now, this cousin sister of mine, okay, it happened. So I told the boy, go try to reason with your mom. He said, Mama, you know my mom. I said, yeah, I know. You can't reason with her. Says, I will try, but I doubt. And true to it. Oh no, my son, if he doesn't take science, I am not going to send him to college. I will not pay his fees. Situation bad enough for a kid? So what do I tell the child now? Tell me. What can the child do? Now it's very difficult for me to give this type of advice, but I gave an advice to the kid saying, you must convince your mom that you are hopeless in science. You got it fast. Some of the young men here have got the answer immediate. So he asked me, Mama, are you saying what I think you are saying? I said, I am saying without saying. So the first year in college, he freaked out. He freaked out, meaning he just freaked out. I don't know whether the professor has seen his face. He flunked. Now it is not the boy's turn to come running to me and crying. It is the mother's turn to come and cry to me. I told her, see, we had told you 1 year back, he is useless in science. How do you want your son to get an education or not get an education? Oh, some education necessary. I said, go, let him do what he wants. He did arts, he did a course in advertising. Now he's running his own advertising company. With 25 people working for him. Can you see the mothers, and the mother who was worried and anxious when the son said he will not take science is now thrilled and proud and everything. पहले से हो सकता था. Are you seeing all sorts of that control fallacy? I must control my child. That's the one big problem that comes in. Black and white thinking, either science or nothing else. So many distortions are there in the mind. And she's a teacher. How many distortions do you think her students will have? Because that's life, no? We pick up distortions. Therefore, it's very important to examine the patterns of our own thinking. We don't do that. That's the unfortunate part. We don't examine the patterns of our own thinking. We think whatever we are thinking is correct. We think we are logical. We are not. Like I remember when I was in, I think, final year of school or something. You know, those days SSC, we were not in school. And the teacher had the habit of examining our notes. So right in the first page, I wrote, study a lot. The more you study, the more you know. The more you know, the more you forget. The more you forget, the less you know. So the teacher saw it. What is this nonsense you have written? Ma'am, it is right, no? It's wrong. Ma'am, how? How is it wrong? It's right. Tell me, how is it wrong? Can you pick out the illogicity there? The more you study, the more you know. The more you know, the more you forget. The more you forget, the less you know. Pick out what is illogical there. We are all logical thinkers, right? Studying Vedanta. Come on. As a schoolboy, I thought of this, okay? Just to bug my teachers. Better not introduce your kids to me, okay? What is the second statement, Soumya? The more you know, the more you forget. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right, na? Because if I know 10, I may forget 2. If I know 30, I may forget 6. So,
Once you know so many, the 2 plus 2 is 4, you cannot forget it.
what I'm trying to say is, At the end of the day, if I know a lot of things, my area of forgetfulness is more.
Not necessarily. No, not necessarily.
No,
And that's not how it works also.
it is not how it works, because it's not the second statement, it's the third statement. Why the third statement? The more you forget, the less you know. Correct? But the less you know is more than what you knew before you studied. Yeah. You'll forget more, that's a fact. But the end result of what you know, minus what you have forgotten, is much more than when you started off. So can you see the fallacy, the illogicities of things? It looks so logical. This mind was a bit crooked mind even as a kid, okay? My teachers went crazy, it became a discussion in the staff room. Then we had an Irish father. I was sent to the father. The father looked at the statement and started laughing. It is a good one. He saw through it. An Irishman. Father Megrath, I'll never forget him. Okay. He saw through that. He said, "You're clever, but don't be too clever." This is the third line is your problem. I said, "Yes, father. I know." He said, "You know that." Are you getting the idea? We think we are logical. But when confronted, we know it is wrong, but we don't know how it is wrong, why it is wrong. This is where you know. That's where, now this is connected with your viveka. How clear is your thinking? How clear is your thinking? Okay. Want another problem like this? Mathematics problem. If the door is half open or half closed, the point is same. So a half open door is equal to a half closed door. Multiply both sides by 2. An open door is equal to closed door. What is the fallacy? It's wrong, but what is the fallacy? Come on, guys, what's the fallacy? Directed numbers. Correct? You have +2, -2, right? So that depends on direction. So opening the door is positive, closing the door will be negative. So +2, -2, multiply both sides, is it same? You will get +2 on one side, -2 on the other. They are not the same. It looks, at first glance, it looks logical. It is not. It is illogical. Because you have not taken direction of movement into account. Remember, mathematics is a language. And I am not saying complex things. Complex things in mathematics even I have forgotten. All the calculus and things like that I studied. Kidhar yaad hai sab. Not used for 40 years. So very well I remember all that. But basics, your fundamentals. So similarly, fundamentals of thinking, fundamentals of life. Here is where we go off. Our emotions go haywire, we are completely overtaken by it. But you should also remember one thing. You know, this guy had a broken hand. He went to a doctor put in a cast and things like that. And said, I wouldn't worry if I were you. So the patient replies, doctor, it is your hand, even I wouldn't be worried. Meaning, when it becomes personal, it becomes a little bit more difficult to become objective. When it is personal, it becomes more difficult to become objective. That is why you need a support system of a friend or a friend, philosopher, guide, counselor, guru, etc. So that you can sit and talk it over. It's difficult. Yeah. Difficult to be objective when it is very personalized and it's your personal issue. Therefore, get that objectivity with the help of a friend or someone. It's important. We are human beings. And psychology, we call ourselves social animals. Why animals, I don't know, but we're social beings. So naturally, sometimes, and in these things, find a friend who can be upfront with you, not just sympathize with you. Find a friend who will validate your feelings, but confront your thinking. And this is what you need to do with your friends also. Validate the feelings. The feelings are justified. When somebody is worried, the person is worried. They say, don't worry. Why are you worrying? That doesn't solve the problem. So validate the feeling of worry. Yeah, this is worrying. You must be upset. You must be, make statements like that. Validate that feeling. And then go on to the thinking. What are you thinking about it? And slowly change that thinking. Since you know the process, you don't need a friend to do it for you. You just need a friend to give you an objective picture. That's all. Maximum, that's all you will need. That's why I said all those distortions, no? Go through them. That I put it up on the group. Okay. If anyone wants a hard copy, next class I'll give a hard copy also. Okay. Yeah. So, and go through that. See what is your personal style of distortion. We all have a personal thing. Like some of us can't stand injustice. No? We have to fight against injustice. Why? Fallacy of fairness. It's a positive quality that you are fighting for justice. But the fallacy there is the world should be fair. World is fair if you take karma, karma phala and many lifetimes into account. Then it is fair. But if you are looking at it in this lifetime, of course there is unfairness. Like there is a story like that. Dhritarashtra asks Krishna at the end of the Mahabharata, says, what is my fate that I have to see 100 kids killed in front of me? Not one survived. Not one son of mine survived. 100 kids have died. So Krishna says, 100 lifetimes ago, you have killed and slaughtered a lot of children, this, that. You are a great warrior, but you have killed, slaughtered kids, women, this, that. Therefore, you are experiencing the karma phala. Says, but why 100 lifetimes back? Why not this? Why not the next lifetime itself? Said no, 100 lifetimes back, because the next 100 lifetimes you are gaining the punya to have 100 sons. To have 100 warrior sons is a great punya. So you are earning that punya. This lifetime you got 100 sons. So then the pain of losing all of them had to come up, karma phala. Therefore you lost all your 100 sons in this lifetime. This is human life. Mixture. If you are looking at it like this, 100 lifetimes, then you will say your life is fair. But we are looking at our life only in our segment, not even our whole life. One segment, few months, few years, etc. Unfair. Okay, life is unfair. Then accept the other way around. Yeah, life is unfair. You can say it's unfair only if there is a written document and a legally binding agreement. This will have that. What will happen to me? You don't have it. 15 years I worked for this company. So 15 years you enjoyed the perks, this, that, everything good. Though nothing lasts forever. Time to say goodbye. I don't know, the older people may remember here, before the stock market boom and all came, there was something called Unit Trust of India. Yeah, in communist philosophy, the fallacy of fairness is a major flaw. You're right, Prashant. You remember there was this Unit Trust of India? And people used to invest in them. That was a gold mine. 18% dividend, 20% dividend, people are enjoying it. For 20 years they enjoyed it. After that, it went downhill. Once the reforms, etc. started happening in India, There were better investment options, etc. available. When Narasimha Rao opened it up a bit, and the succeeding governments did more, they were saying, "Arey, 20 years such a good company, it is not fair it has gone down." I said, 20 years you enjoyed it, na? 20 years financial success like that, come on, yaar. Now it is not, sell it off. But you know, I am selling it off at 10% loss. 10% loss, correct. But for 20 years you enjoyed 18%, 20% dividend. What about that? You forget that and say, "I'm not fair." What is not fair? Tell me. Yeah. If you take it to the extreme, you'll have communist philosophy coming in. Redistribution of wealth. Idiotic. The communist philosophy is the most stupid thing. You know, when I went to college, I was strongly influenced by this communist philosophy. For 6 months, I was a communist. 6 months of college, I was a communist. First year of college. Then I saw the hollowness of the whole system. I was a logical thinker always. God's grace. This was good always. Didn't reflect academically all the time. But this was good. So 6 months I saw the hollowness of the whole thing. This will not work. Yeah, this will not work. Yeah. What is the motivation for people to make money? And remember those days, communism had influenced the democratic government of India also. Over 1 lakh rupees, you are paying 90% tax. Highest slab of taxation was over 1 lakh rupees, 90%. Some of the older people who are working here will remember that. Yeah. During my working days, 90% tax. Have you gone crazy? Who will pay it? Only an idiot will pay it. Therefore, black money came into India. Yeah. A rate of taxation like that will create it. Fairness means the downtrodden should be given a chance to be uplifted. That is what fairness is about. The best programs I have seen is in Australia. For the Aborigines, they have special education programs. They don't lower the standard by saying you get 45% marks, you'll be admitted to this. No, but these 45% mark students are taken up, given special coaching so they can make the grade. That is the best program ever. Then people will really come up. People will really come up. Yeah. Not by pulling down or offering reservations and all. In fact, reservations were supposed to be phased out after 10 years according to Dr. Ambedkar. In India, I am talking about. Dr. Ambedkar had said after 10 years it should be phased out. We are only increasing it to 50% now. And if I.D.India comes up, they want to completely move it, make it 80% reservation. Foolish ideas, this won't work. All this comes from what? Your perceived notion of fairness. The fallacy of that thinking, that everything has to be fair all the time. See, because we have an inherent value of justice. Understand where these things thinking come from. We have an inherent value of justice. Correct? Justice has to be there. From justice comes fairness. But we are looking at narrow segments. Yeah. Then let me tell you another thing. Fairness, no? Here. I am going to put a proposition to you all, okay? This guy has got 10 years experience in this field. He can do the job very well because 10 years experience is easy for him. But he is paid high. A beginner comes in, same line. He is paid low. Why? Because he doesn't know the job. Is it fair or not fair? Fair, no? He doesn't know the job. He's a beginner. He has to learn the job. This guy is asking for more money. Why? It's more difficult to do the job if you don't know the job than when you know the job. Right or wrong? So, now I'm joking, I'm making fun of the whole thing. But you can create a seemingly a pseudo-logical argument out of anything. It's pseudo-logical, it's not logical. Yeah, that's what learning a job is. You have to work hard to learn a job. That's it. So the job pays you more than the salary. A job pays you in terms of learning. All that you forget, you only look at pay. And say not fair. Are you getting the idea? This is where our whole thinking goes haywire. It's all spin-off. What I'm saying is not directly mentioned in the Gita. That is true. None of this is directly mentioned in the Gita. Need not be mentioned. Why? You are already supposed to have that before you study the Gita. So this is preparing the mind for the understanding of Vedanta. You are preparing the mind. Yeah. And life teaches you that. Examining life. Yeah. Prashant, you want to ask something?
Yes, Swamiji.
Tell me.
Just one question about that distortions, that PDF that you shared. So in last class you said like generally normally people have like 3 to 4 or something like that. But when I looked at the list and you said like I seem to have like more than that, but then luckily not all of them in the same situation. So in different situations the distortions are different.
It may change. Correct. That's okay.
But it's not, almost like I seem to have like around
5 or 6.
At least 10.
10, okay. Half. You're still within normal range, don't worry. See, what happens is, all our distortion will not come up at all the times. Okay? All our distortions will not come up. But when you read it, you know that in the pattern, 3, 4, 5 keeps repeating itself. Those are the ones that are serious you have to deal with. 1 or 2 may come in rare situations. Like if you are diagnosed with cancer, you'll say, oh my God, my life is over. I can understand that distortion coming in. It won't come in other situations, but it may come in a situation like that. Those are extreme cases. So a distortion coming up in an extreme case, remember one thing, when you're handling emotions, dealing with life, in an abnormal situation, an abnormal reaction is normal. Okay? In an abnormal situation, an abnormal reaction is normal. Are you getting the idea? So being diagnosed with cancer is not a normal situation. So your reaction may be a bit this, which is normal, understandable. So what do you need? Talk to a friend, etc., cool down a bit. Then you will be able to handle the distortion. Now that you have this much with you, once you have this much with you, you will be awareful enough to be able to handle it. So it's okay even if you have 10, doesn't matter. Because they'll come up only in extreme cases. They won't come up in normal cases. Normal 3, 4. 3, 4 will be there. They become our bias, our belief system. Now what happens is if you have these distortions or a pattern of thinking, they become our belief systems. Which is worse, which is well entrenched now. Well entrenched. Sometimes it expresses as orthodoxy, which is easier to see. You know? Yeah. Which is easier to see. No, I believe. In fact, something happened in our circles long back when I was a student in the ashram. Okay? I mean, I was known as a good student, good, not always necessary in terms of how I behaved, but good in terms of my understanding my cognitive. I was unconventional. I was very unconventional, and my teacher was fine with that. Yeah. So, I don't know whether I should say this because it's going to come in the recording, but I will say it. Unconventional after all. This Brahmin lady comes and tells me, Unless you wear that kacha, no? The dhoti style and the 9-yard saris, unless you wear that, you cannot understand Vedanta. She is saying that, Brahminical thinking. That unless you are a Brahmin, you can't understand. But she didn't say unless you are a Brahmin, then I would have given her intellectual arguments. But she said it this way. So the rebel in me came up. I must have been 26, 27-year-old that time. Okay. So I asked her, what does parting your legs got to do with understanding Vedanta? She went red and blue and black in the face. And went straight to Puja Swamiji and said, Swamiji, this is what Ram Mohan told me. I said, Ram Mohan told you this? I have always known him as a gentleman. What did you say that provoked him to say this? I told him this. You asked for it. Swamiji said that. I was surprised. Then Swamiji called me, what happened? I said, Swamiji, I'm sorry. I will apologize to the lady, but this is what happened. It's okay. She deserves it. I said, okay, thank God. I was willing to apologize. Okay, that's okay. Yeah, not a problem. But are you seeing, it has become a well-entrenched belief system that even the Guru tells you, Swamiji, not me, you are not willing to change. It's a well-entrenched belief system. Yeah. If you have belief systems like that, you better examine it. Yeah, you better examine it. Yeah. I have known people. I'm a Brahmana. I will not touch onion and garlic. I will eat only sattvic food. Nowhere in the Gita or in Ayurveda it is said that onion and garlic are not healthy or sattvic. They are rajasic foods, correct. But sometimes you need the rajas, you need that fire coming into you. But the guy enjoys a couple of drinks every evening. So that is sattvic, okay? Because I'm being spiritual. Can you see the belief system? I'd rather that the person stop the alcohol and eat onion and garlic rather than stop onion and garlic and have alcohol.
Swamiji, Jains do that, no?
I know.
They will drink and all, but they will not.
Yeah, they do a lot of us. Oh, I know the Jain community very well. I ran a hospital in Dhanu where half the people were Jains. If I start talking about it, it will become their beliefs and their practices. So, this is where this becomes entrenched belief system supported by some community, logic, religion, etc. Okay. Funny thing. Put the Pope and the Mullah together. Look at them. God told the Pope, don't marry, but you can enjoy wine. The same God tells the Mullah, you can have 4 wives, but don't touch wine. I am presenting the same belief system. I am not for or against either of them. Correct, Ekani? The Christian Padri can have wine but should not get married. The Mullah should not touch wine but he can have 4 wives. Minimum. Halala and all, forget it. Don't even ask me about that. Same God telling you both? No, my God is different from your God. Can you see how the entrenched belief systems can destroy communities and societies? No examining, no logic. There are a lot of things in Hinduism also which is belief system. And then you have to decide, you want to follow that belief or don't follow that belief. Everything in Hinduism cannot be followed by everyone. It is not meant to be followed by everyone either. Hinduism has a whole list of practices and beliefs. What is applicable to you, you take. For your growth, what you need. Then come to Vedanta and understand the truth. Yeah. Simple thing like, which God should I worship? There's only one God you're worshipping anyway. So what do you mean which God? No, which form? That is more logical. That's more logical. So go by your psyche, your ishtam. In your mind, when you say Ishvara, what you can relate to? Pick up that. Easiest way. Go by your Kula Devata. Your parents have worshipped for generations, ancestors have worshipped. Worship your Kula Devata. Another way. Or go into your horoscope. Oh, your Guru is weak. Guru is Jupiter, is weak. Worship Vishnu. You need that. Backing up with some luck. So worship Vishnu. Guru is weak, Vishnu. Rahu, Ketu, etc., then Shiva. Mangal, etc., then Durga. So all these systems are there. So can you follow all of them? No. You pick up what you need. But we play it safe. So if you go to a Hindu puja corner, you find all. Even mine has become like that now. Why? Before sannyasa, I have not thrown a flower at Ishvara. Really. I mean, the trust was strong in me, but physical worship was poor. So the Lord played a joke on me. Okay. So after sannyasa, I am leading bindas like, good, everything is fine, rooted in this knowledge. Suddenly a friend of mine gets me a Sri Yantra Meru all the way from Mookambika, Shakti Pita. This is for you, I got it. I can't say, no, I don't want. Atiti Rupena, Devi is coming into your house. Okay, I will light a lamp, but I'm not going to do the whole Sri Vidya Upasana and everything. I'll just do 9 times Kumkum. That is enough, that's enough. Fine. All right, ठीक है, कर लो अभी. पहला कभी नहीं किया. My parents used to do, but I never used to bother. Then, next year, a student of mine, he's from Nepal. From the Gandaki river, he gets me a linga and a saligrama. Oh my God. Abhi kya karega he? Your Shiva, Shakti has come in first, Shiva is there, Vishnu is there. Okay. सबको acknowledge करेगा. Atiti रूपेण they have come. Atiti Devo Bhava, an uninvited guest you should treat as Bhagwan. Now if Bhagwan has come as Atiti, what do you do? Acknowledge. So sometimes this will happen in your life. Okay. Therefore, go with the flow, do what is necessary. Don't get caught up in a fixed belief system. It is necessary to have a belief system, necessary to have a background. Don't get conditioned by it, that's all. Don't get conditioned. See that your belief system has a certain elbow room in it. Then it's not rigid. See that your distortions are there, that's important. To knock off distortions are important. So, elbow room in your beliefs and loosening up or negating your distortions. Distortions you can't afford to have. Belief systems, as long as there is an elbow room, it's okay. Because you can't live without belief system. You can't say, my mind is open. Nothing goes inside. Everything goes inside and flows out also. Open, nothing remains inside. So Vedanta also same thing will happen. It will go in and go out. So is this clear, this whole aspect of what it takes to handle your mind, what it takes to be a student?
The needs are good, but it's not necessary to follow rituals. That's true.
Yeah, rituals, see something like this. A ritual is nothing but meant to bring out the devotion in you. So if the devotion is there, if you can relate that everything is Ishvara, then you don't need a single ritual in your life. If I find that difficult, then something small, light a lamp, say salam, that much. Something small to bring out the devotion. If you can accept everything as prasada from Ishvara, kuch bhi ho jao, success, failure, anything, prasada. And I do what I can do. If my life is totally like that, then rituals etc. are not necessary. But many of us are not like that. When things go haywire, na, थोड़ा गड़बड़ हो जाते हैं, थोड़ा गड़बड़ हो जाते हैं. So because of that, it is good to do a few small things, simple things. Do some japa. Do some japa. If you don't want to do a physical ritual, do some japa, do some dhyanam. Okay, sing some bhajans. Yeah, good. Sing some bhajans. It brings out the devotion very nicely. Yeah. Because sometimes there can be an emotional block. If there is an emotional block, there is nothing like a soulful song or a soulful bhajan to bring out that whole thing and release that block. That is good. And the block has also come because of some past experience. This lifetime or previous lifetime. Yeah. Like there was a student of mine. He was in his 70s. So I said, hey, we are in a camp. His wife was not there, and I know they are a close couple. I said, hey, today is Valentine's Day. Not even calling your wife, or what? He said, Swamiji, what is there to know? I said, call her, na? She'll be happy if you get a call from you. But what is all this? Swamiji, we have been there together for 40 years. Abhi love, this, that, etc. What is there? I said, love is supposed to grow. So after that he comes and tells me, I don't feel anything like that, So I examined the whole thing, this, that, etc. His psyche. I said, simple. Do you love any songs, any of this thing? Oh, old Hindi film songs. Old songs. Because old songs all dealt with emotions and things like that. Old songs dealt with that. I wish Atmatuttanji was there. He would have given examples right now. Nekyo bahekare adi raat ko. Songs like that. Okay. Songs like that. So he listened to them every day. Seriously. Because he enjoyed it. Plus he had some trust in what I was saying. So after 6 months he comes and says, you're right. Now I understand what some feelings are about. I said, now Vedanta will be firm in you. Because you've been studying, he's a good student. But that emotional thing was there, opening up was not there, so that knowledge was not sinking down. When the emotion opened up, knowledge also sank down. Fine. Yeah, he knows the truth himself. For himself, he knows. He has not picked up the teaching styles and so, but for himself, I would say he is a wise person. No problems. This is happened 10 years back, okay? So, you need that emotional opening up. At the same time, you need to manage your emotions. You need to be sensitive, but you need not be reactive with respect to your sensitivity. If you can manage this, you got it made. You are a wonderful human being. And a wonderful human being can understand the truth very fast. Okay. So next class, I think we will go back into the Gita and the verses and everything. Good place to stop. Okay. Om Tat Sat.